Google announced 3 AI platform updates at I/O 2026 and ranked WebMCP as the winner. I pointed all 3 at a live SaaS sign-up wizard where 71% of new small business users quit before finishing. If you run any onboarding funnel and you're watching the I/O recap wondering which of these to actually build against this quarter, I ran the A/B for you. 218 signups, 9 days, 1 Postgres table, no vendor spin. I build these integrations for clients every week, and Google ranked their own lineup wrong for anyone selling to SMBs. Let me show you the number that moved. Here's the setup so you know the receipts are real. The test funnel is an invoice setup wizard for a small business SaaS product. New user signs up, then has to enter company name, tax ID, address, default currency, invoice branding, and a short business description before the account activates. Baseline over the prior 30 days, 71% drop-off on that wizard. Average completion time for the users who did finish, 4 minutes, 12 seconds. That's the number I care about. Nothing else in the funnel matters if users bail on step 2. I/O 2026 gave me 3 things to point at that wizard. WebMCP, which Google put at the top of the recap. Built-in AI with Gemini Nano running on-device in Chrome. And Skills in Chrome, the power user extension layer. I ran 218 new signups over 9 days, split across a control path and 1 variant per feature, tracked in plausible for events and Postgres for completion state. Same landing page, same copy, same pricing. Only the wizard behavior changed. Feature 1. WebMCP. This is the agentic web story Google led the keynote with. The idea is your browser exposes an MCP endpoint. An AI agent negotiates with the site, and the form gets filled on the user's behalf. Beautiful demo. In production, 2 users out of 218 triggered it. 2. Because it requires the user to already be running an MCPware agent, have it configured, and grant per-site permission. That is a developer audience, not a small business owner signing up at 10 at night to send their first invoice. For SMB acquisition traffic, WebMCP is effectively dead this year. Maybe next year, not this quarter. Feature 2. Built-in AI with Gemini Nano. This is the one nobody put on a slide. Chrome ships a small language model on device. You call it with a JavaScript API. No server round trip, no API key, no per token cost. I wired it into 3 wizard fields. Tax ID formatting based on country, address parsing from a single paste, and a 1-line business description generator seeded from the company name. On the variant path, wizard completion time dropped from 4 minutes 12 to 1 minute 38. Drop-off fell from 71% to 39%. 0 back-end changes. 0 cost per sign-up. The model runs on the user's laptop. Feature 3. Skills in Chrome. Genuinely interesting for people who already live in Chrome DevTools and want to script repeatable browser workflows. For a first-time visitor who has never heard of your product, it is invisible. Impact on the cold sign-up funnel, statistically 0. Not bad, just wrong audience. So here's the scoreboard. Google ranked it WebMCP, built-in AI, skills. For anyone running an SMB funnel, the real order is built-in AI, skills, WebMCP. And the gap between first and second is enormous. The one Google buried in the middle of the keynote is the only one that moved a real business metric this quarter. Here's your practical takeaway. If you have a sign-up wizard, an onboarding form, a checkout, any place where users have to type structured data and you're bleeding completions, the built-in AI API is a one-afternoon integration. You do not need a back-end change. You do not need a back-end change. You do not need a vendor contract. You do not need to wait for your users to adopt agents. You detect the API in the browser, you fall back gracefully if it's missing, and you use the on-device model to do the boring formatting and parsing work that makes forms feel slow. Start with the field that has the highest abandonment. In my case, it was tax ID. Measure the delta for 1 week. If the number moves, expand to the next field. Hot take. The agentic web framing is backwards for anyone selling to non-technical users. Small business owners do not want agents filling out their forms. They want forms that disappear. If your onboarding funnel is where users die, this is exactly the kind of integration we ship for clients. See the wizard tear-down template and real before and after dashboards at BizflowAI.io. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so the next tear-down finds you when I run. I/O 2026's other announcements against real client stacks. And if you want us to look at your funnel specifically, book a free 30-minute discovery call at BizflowAI.io, and we'll map the 2 or 3 places built-in AI can save your sign-up rate this quarter.